mean, we're under attack as Americans. This whole country is under attack. And the reason why is very simple. If you don't take down the biggest guy on the block, then you don't have anything yet. And so this new world order, most of the people around the world have no idea what's going on, so they're very easy to knock over. But America has always been on the forefront of intellectual and education and knowledge and technology. So unless you can destroy this base of resistance to tyranny, then you haven't done anything. That's why they are continuing to attack America, because America is the only country left that offers freedom and liberty and justice for all and all of that kind of ideas and thinking. That came out of the Renaissance. And so, yeah, you're right that we are under attack. First of all, you need to understand that all communist countries officially are referred to as democratic republics, like the North Korean Democratic Republic of North Korea, the Democratic Republic of Cuba, the Democratic Republic of China. It's always a democratic republic.
Of the Congo.
Of the Congo, exactly. It's all around the world. Any communist country is always a democratic.
They counterfeited our original republic system, but it's a total joke.
Exactly. And this is why in the book Fire in the Minds of Men, James Billington, who is today the chief librarian for the Library of Congress, this is no slouch, chief librarian for the Library of Congress, wrote a book called Fire in the Minds of Men, in which he explained this whole idea of calling things democratic. And it came out of the old 1840s with the communist revolution, in 1848 the communist movement, etc. So we need to understand that when you use the word democratic today, it does not mean the people's democratic thinking and from the Grecian Empire. We're talking about corporate democracy, which is actually today called communism.
Sure. So we're not talking about a constitutional republic like ours, the first and pretty much only.
Not at all.
We're talking about a democratic republic, which means a Politburo, a secretariat, a totally staged event.
Precisely, and that's absolutely. So you need to understand that democracy today in America is not a people's democracy where people matter. It's a corporate democracy under world communism. So that's so much for the Communist Party and the Democratic Party in America. But you need to also, in relation to words, if you were, and I'm going to give you an example. If you have a two-story building and you're going to put a lot of weight on the second floor, the first thing you need to do is go downstairs, get on a ladder with a building inspector, and look at the foundation of the floor that you're going to build on to see if it's going to hold that kind of weight. And so what you're doing is you're standing under the foundation that you're going to build on. This is where we get our word understanding, because you're understanding or standing under what you're hearing.
But we never learn the basics of things, so we don't recognize classical tyranny when it's in our face.
Exactly, and it's incredible because that's the way we've been taught. We've been taught what to think, not how to think. So, and if you have a large package, for instance, if you have a large package and you want to ship it, you go out in the garage, you get some rope, and you tie up the package, and that's good enough. But if you're going to take that same rope and tie it off on the end of a 10-story building and hang on it, then you better check the integrity of that rope before you go hanging yourself on it. And so that's what I'm saying.
And what is the integrity of what we've seen? Zero.
Are involved. This democratic so-called thing is involved in Hollywood. It's involved in all of our institutions because we've allowed it to happen. I mean, we remember talking, many years ago about the Marxist professors in universities, but nobody really knew much about what Marxism was.
It just hit me. It hit me. It's always so thought-provoking when you come on.
Say it again?
It's so thought-provoking. Of course, all the communists call their countries democratic. That's a word cooked up by the Democratic Party, which were the Jacobin side of the whole Illuminati, and it's all right there in history, but no one knows. So break it down. Sorry.
That's exactly right. Let me give you an example of how Hollywood is involved in this. The Emmys that we see on television, which is incredible operation today in America and around the world, television. But the Emmys are presented to the world by the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. The first letter in that title is National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, which is NATAS, which is spelled backwards Satan. And when you begin to look at how Hollywood was founded, back in the ancient times, and I've told you this, I think, before, but in ancient times in Europe, there was a civilization in ancient Europe even before the Roman Empire, and it was called Druids. And this is what we're dealing with today in America and around the world, Druidism. And among the Druids, pre-Roman Empire, they're still here today running the world, but among the Druids, there was a magic symbol that was very important to Druidism in Europe, and it was a magic wand. And it was like Merlin the magician with the magic wand, Mickey Mouse with a magic wand. Also, the orchestra conductors use a magic wand to play the music. So magic wands were always made out of the wood of a holly tree. It's made out of Hollywood. And once you understand the symbolism, the words and the terms and how words are used, it's all magic. It's all a very high form of druidic, professionally done magic.
And that's right.
This is a very ancient science. That's why today the study of politics is called political science. It's an actual science. And so it's based on the ancient magic, ancient mystical science. It's massive worldwide. And that's why people have no idea in the world how big this thing is. And I've been talking about it for many years and trying to get people to listen. You know, there's a very big war, and I mean, you said it best, it's a war for the minds. And when you begin to understand how words are used to manipulate us,